Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamti Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 19, the killing of demon Hiranyaksha, text number 30 onwards. So demon Hiranyaksha was killed by Lord Varahadev, and then Brahmaji prayed to the Lord, and now the different demigods, they are offering their prayers. Namo namaste akhil yagya tantave sthito grihitamala sattvamurtahe Dishtya hato ayam jagatam runtudus tadpad bhaktya vayamish nirvritaha. The demigods address the Lord. All obeisances unto you. You are the enjoyer of all sacrifices, and you have assumed the form of a boar in pure goodness for the purpose of maintaining the world. Fortunately for us, this demon who was a torment to the worlds has been slain by you. And we too, O Lord, are now at ease in devotion to your lotus feet. The material world consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. But the spiritual world is pure goodness. It is said here that the form of the Lord is pure goodness, which means that it is not material. In the material world, there is no pure goodness. In Bhagavatam, the stage of pure goodness is called Sattvam Vishuddham. Vishuddham means pure. In pure goodness, there is no contamination by the two inferior qualities, namely passion and ignorance. The form of the boar, therefore, in which the Lord appeared is nothing of the material world. There are many other forms of the Lord, but none of them belong to the material qualities. Such forms are non-different from the Vishnu form, and Vishnu is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So although the Lord appeared as a boar, as a shukar, a pig, but he is not at all of material world. There is no contamination of any of material qualities. He is in Shuddha Sattva, he is on the Shuddha Sattva platform, spiritual platform, even in the form of a boar. The sacrifices which are recommended in the Vedas are meant to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In ignorance only, people try to satisfy many other agents. But the real purpose of life is to satisfy the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. All sacrifices are meant to please the Supreme Lord. The living entities who know this perfectly well are called demigods, godly or almost God. Since the living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, it is his duty to serve the Lord and please him. The demigods are all attached to the personality of Godhead, and for their pleasure, the demon, who was a source of trouble to the world, was killed. Purified life is meant to please the Lord, and all sacrifices performed in purified life are called Krishna consciousness. This Krishna consciousness is developed by devotional service, as clearly mentioned here. So sacrifice, which are recommended in Veda, meant to please the Lord, means all the sacrifices we do. Actually, every activity we do should be dovetailed towards pleasing the Lord. The demigods, they came down and they're praying to the Lord, they're offering obeisances, offering all the prayers. So everything is for the pleasure of the Lord. Hiranyaksha did so much of sacrifice, so much of tapasya, so much of labor, but that was all useless because it didn't mean to please the Lord. Although he was the doorkeeper of the Lord, so Lord took note of whatever services he did, because that was ultimately geared towards coming to that fight which Lord wanted. So the Lord was pleased with that fight. But the way he fought, it wasn't meant to please the Lord. in the sense they're like cowherd boys when they are with Krishna. And sometimes they have some mock fights, like as a play, but that fight is always to please Krishna, even though Krishna loses sometimes. But the idea is to please Krishna. Idea is to make him happy. But here Hiranyaksha wasn't trying to make Lord Varahadev happy. And look at the kind of words he used for Lord Varahadev. That really, like in Bhagavatam it is mentioned, that really shook him, that really pierced the heart of the Lord. The kind of words Hiranyaksha was using. Cowherd boys don't use those words for Krishna. And even if they use some other words, but Krishna knows the heart. Krishna knows the consciousness. That is more important. So that sacrifice, anything we do, we get up early, that is a sacrifice, sacrificing our sleep. That should be for the pleasure of the Lord. That should be to chant His holy names. So this is what devotion service is. So every sacrifice, everything that we do when it is for pleasing pleasure of the Lord, that is devotion service. Maitri Uvacha Evam Hiranyaksham Asaya Vikramam Sasadhitva Hariradi Sukra Jagam Lokam Samakhanditotsvam Samiditah Pushkar Vishtaradibhi. Shri Maitreya continued, after thus killing the most formidable demon, Hiranyaksha, the Supreme Lord Hari, the origin of the boar species, returned to his own abode, where there is always an uninterrupted festival. The Lord was praised by all the demigods, headed by Brahma. The Lord is spoken of herewith as the origin of the boar species. As stated in Vedanta Sutra, the absolute truth is the origin of everything. Janmadi Yasya, everything comes from him. Therefore, it is to be understood that all 8,400,000 species of bodily forms originate from the Lord, who is always Adi, or the beginning. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna addresses the Lord as Adyam, or the original. Similarly, in Brahma Samhita, the Lord is addressed as Adi Purusham, the original person. Indeed, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself declares, Matta Sarvam Pravartate. From me, everything proceeds. So everything comes from the Lord. Not just he is the origin of boar species, he is the origin of all the species, actually. In this situation, the Lord assumed the shape of a boar to kill the demon Hiranyaksha and pick up the earth from the Garbha ocean. Thus he became Adi Shukara, the original boar. In the material world, a boar or pig is considered most abominable. But the Adi Shukar, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was not treated as an ordinary boar. Even Lord Brahma and the other demigods praised the Lord's form as a boar. The funny thing is, we pray to Lord Varahadev, we pray in the form of Lord as a boar, but if you go to followers of Islam, they will just run away. They'll say, this is haram, this is haram. Big difference. Without understanding who's Lord Varahadev, of course, we are not going to just place any pig on the altar and worship him. That would be offensive. But Lord Varahadev is Lord Varahadev. This verse confirms a statement in Bhagavad Gita that the Lord appears as he is from his transcendental abode for the sake of killing the miscreants and saving the devotees. So here in the verse it is mentioned he went back to his planet where he was welcomed by the associates, by the servants. So there is a Varhaloka in the Vaikuntha planets. By killing the demon Hiranyaksha, he fulfilled his promise to kill the demons and always protect the demigods headed by Brahma. The statement that the Lord returned to his own abode indicates that he has his own particular transcendental residence. Since he is full of all energies, he is all pervasive in spite of his residing in Golok Vrindavan. Just as the sun, although situated in a particular place within the universe, is present by its sunshine throughout the universe. So he has his own abode, Varahaloka, Vaikuntha planet, one of the Vaikuntha planets. And then he appeared here just to do his work by killing Hiranyaksha, by protecting the demigods, and now he went back. Although the Lord has his particular abode in which to reside, he is all pervasive. The impersonalists accept one aspect of the Lord's features, the all pervasive aspect, but they cannot understand his localized situation in his transcendental abode, where he always engages in fully transcendental pastimes. So, this is very, very difficult for anybody to understand. All pervasive nature, the Brahm Jyoti, people understand it right away. People take it right away. But to understand, there is a person also in the Vaikuntha planets, like Lord Varahadev, Lord Nrsimhadev, Krishna, Ram, Vamandev. And they are existing there eternally with their associates, with their servants. It's just difficult for somebody to imagine this. But this is what Bhagavatam is teaching us. Especially mentioned in this verse is the word Akhand, Akhnditotsavam. Utsava means pleasure. Whenever some function takes place to express happiness, it's called Utsav. Utsav, the expression of complete happiness, is always present in the Vaikuntha Lokas, the abode of the Lord, who is worshipable even by demigods like Brahma, to say nothing of other less important entities such as human beings. So there's always a Utsav, there's always a festival of happiness going on in Vaikuntha Lokas. That's why it's called Vaikuntha, no miseries. The Lord descends from his abode to this world, and therefore he is called Avatar, which means one who descends. Sometimes Avatar is understood to refer to an incarnation who assumes a material form of flesh and bone. But actually, Avatara refers to one who descends from the higher regions. The Lord's abode is situated far above this material sky, and he descends from that higher position. This is called Avatar. So, Avatar means one who descends. Of course, there's a movie Avatar also, but that movie, that was just his fantasy movie, and then the way he wanted to show. But really means Avatar means one who descends, and only the Lord can do that. Only the Lord does that. So he's there in his spiritual abode, and he comes here in the material world also. But whether he comes here or not, whether he is there, wherever he is, he's always transcendental. His body is always spiritual. That part we have to understand. Mayavadis, they talk about the ultimate is Brahm Jyoti, and in Brahm Jyoti something happens, and there are different incarnations or different features. They don't even call them incarnation. They just say different great personalities appear, like Krishna and Ram, and here maybe Varahadev and Vamandev, Nrsimhadev. But something happens in the Brahm Jyoti. But what happens in the Brahm Jyoti, they don't know. Because nothing happens in Brahm Jyoti. That's why they cannot explain. And how can the whole personality with wonderful features and the wonderful pastimes appear from nothing? It's not possible. Text 32. Maya yathanuktam vadite hare kritavatarasya smitra cheshtitam yatha hiranyaksha udara vikramam mahamrida kridan vanirakritaha. Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, I have explained to you the personality of Godhead coming down as a firstborn incarnation and killing in a great fight a demon of unprecedented prowess as if he were just a plaything. This has been narrated by me as I heard it from my predecessor, spiritual master. Here the sage Maitreya admits that he explained the incident of killing of Hiranyaksha by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a straight narration. He did not manufacture anything or add interpretation, but explained whatever he had heard from his spiritual master. Thus he accepted as bona fide the system of parampara, or receiving the transcendental message in disciplic succession. Unless received by this bona fide process of hearing from his spiritual master, the statement of an acharya preceptor cannot be valid. So this thing also, there are few things Prabhupada over and over and over and over stressed upon. And this is one of those things. One has to hear from a bona fide person in the bona fide sampradaya or in a bona fide disciplic succession. One means one cannot make up his own stuff. In the whole, we have read so many purports so far, and beyond this also we'll read so many purports by Prabhupada. Prabhupada never ever wrote, I think, I feel, maybe, perhaps, this, that, nothing. He just wrote exactly as it is, his own words, but the philosophy, whatever he learned from his predecessor acharyas. Not necessarily his own Diksha Guru. It could be from other acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baldev Vidya Bhushan, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But they were all in the parampara. And the benefit of being in the parampara is the knowledge that comes. It is bona fide. It is authentic knowledge. Means nobody is making up any stuff. Nobody is interpreting in any way, in any wrong way, the scriptures. Or nobody's making up any stuff that is not supposed to be there. Just like these days, you hear so many things on TV or on the net, and it doesn't even make sense, but people just believe it. I'm talking about scripture, not talking about politics or anything. Scriptures only. Just like these days, big time, all these debates going on, Hindu, Muslim, this, that, obviously nothing to do with Bhagavatam. But it bothers me when they say, oh, Ram came 7,000 years ago. Where in the world did you read this? Lord Ram appeared 7,000 years ago. Complete nonsense. Because they themselves have no idea, first of all, and they don't want to study under a bona fide spiritual master. And even if somebody goes and tells them, Lord Ram appeared about 20 lakh years ago, this time, and appears in every Treta Yuga, even they won't be able to understand or conceive of it. What does this mean? Just say 7,000 years ago, well, it sounds reasonable. Because at least everybody agrees on 5,000 years ago Mahabharata happened. At least they agree on this one. But they cannot even conceive of the fact that Lord Ram and his pastimes happened 20 lakh years ago. Nobody will be able to believe that. And that's why Prabhupada again mentioned one has to receive this knowledge in the bona fide parampara. It is also stated here that although the demon Hiranyaksha was unlimited in prowess, he was just like a doll for the Lord. A child breaks so many dolls without real endeavor. Similarly, although a demon may be very powerful and extraordinary in the eyes of an ordinary man in the material world to the Lord, killing such a demon has no difficulty. He can kill millions of demons as simply as a child plays with the dolls and breaks them. And this is Satyuga demon, big demon Hiranyaksha. So what to speak of all the Kali Yuga demons? They don't even need any mention, or they don't even deserve the Lord Varahadev coming down and killing them. Kali Yuga demons don't even count anywhere in front of the Lord. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came and then he started the Sankirtan Yagya, Sankirtan movement, because he knew these demons are so small, so little bitty, whatever these guys are doing, it's not even worth killing them. But out of his mercy, he said, they think they're big demons, they're nothing. And that was about 500 years ago. Now the demons are even worse. So Mahaprabhu thought, let me just transform their heart, change their consciousness. And that's why he started the Sankirtan movement. But when Kalki Avatar comes towards the end of Kali Yuga, there won't be any preaching, there won't be any mercy. He'll be just killing. Basically, he would be killing everybody. Sutuvacha. Iti koshāravakhyatam ashrutya bhagvat katham kshattanandam param lebhe mahabhagavato dvija. Sri Suta Goswami continued, my dear Brahman, Kshatta, Vidura, the great devotee of the Lord achieved transcendental bliss by hearing the narration of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the authoritative sources of the sage Kosharava or Maitreya, and he was very pleased. If anyone wants to derive the transcendental pleasure by hearing the pastimes of the Lord, he must hear it from the authoritative sources, as explained here. Maitreya heard the narration from his bona fide spiritual master, and Vidura also heard from Maitreya. One becomes an authority simply by presenting whatever he has heard from his spiritual master. And one who does not accept a bona fide spiritual master cannot be an authority. This is clearly explained here. If one wants to have transcendental pleasure, he must find a person with authority. It is also stated in Bhagavatam that simply by hearing from an authoritative source, with the ear and the heart, one can relish the pastimes of the Lord. Otherwise, it's not possible. Sanatana Goswami, therefore, has especially warned that one should not hear anything about the personality of God, the personality of the Lord from the lips of a non-devotee. Non-devotees are considered to be like serpents, as milk is poisoned by a serpent's touch. So although the narration of the pastimes of the Lord is as pure as milk, when administered by serpent-like non-devotees, it becomes poisonous. So non-devotees means especially the Mayavadis, the impersonalists. Sometimes they also speak wonderfully about the pastimes of the Lord. Beautiful narrations will be there. But first of all, in their heart, they would be thinking, I'm going to become Ram, or I'm going to become Krishna. And they would be speaking in that consciousness. So just like the food that we eat, the consciousness of the cook enters the food, which is very gross matter. But what to speak of the consciousness of the person who's speaking this katha, and his consciousness is of Mayavad philosophy, or his consciousness is of thinking, I am the Supreme Lord. I am become one. I am one with the Supreme Lord. So that enters the philosophy, and when that philosophy enters the heart or ears of a person, of an audience, it has the adverse effect. Same philosophy, even though spoken in broken words, not even right grammar, but if it is spoken by a pure devotee of the Lord or a devotee of the Lord, it will have different effect on the audience. That's for sure. Just listening, same katha, two different people, it will have different effects. Just for example, if Prabhupada was here, I mean, he is here through his books, but if he was physically here, and if he was speaking on these verses, reading his own purport and speaking and giving lecture, wouldn't that have a bigger or deeper and better and more, um, much more strong impact on the audience than what I can speak on? So my consciousness is not even 0.0000001% as pure as Prabhupada's. So of course Prabhupada's words will have more effect. So similarly, if a Mayavadi person speaks, his words will have adverse effect. And this is what Prabhupada is saying. That the milk touched by the lips of a serpent becomes poisonous. Although the milk was like a nectar before. So similarly, the Krishna Katha, if it is touched by the serpent-like non-devotees, it becomes poisonous. Not only does it have no effect in transcendental pleasure, but it is dangerous also. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has warned that no description of the pastimes of the Lord should be heard from the Mayavadis or impersonalist school. He has clearly said, Mayavadi bhashya sunile hai sarvanash. If anyone hears a Mayavadi's interpretation of the pastimes of the Lord, or their interpretation of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, or any other Vedic literature, then he is doomed. Once one is associated with impersonalists, he can never understand the personal feature of the Lord and his transcendental pastimes. Of course, it would require plenty of association and mercy of devotees and the Supreme Lord before even the impersonalists get transformed. So the Goswami was speaking to the sages headed by Shaunak, and therefore he addressed them in this verse as Dvija, twice born. The sages assembled in Naimisharanya hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Sutta Goswami were all Brahmins, but to acquire the qualification of Brahman is not everything. Merely to be twice born is not everything. Perfection is attained when one hears the pastimes and activities of the Lord from a bona fide source. So that is what we have to do, and this is what we are doing, but we are hearing from Prabhupada. So thank you all very much. We'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, your connection is not good, bro.
You said adverse effects. What partial? Is that the only from the Mayavadi, or anything else is also there?
I lost about 60% of your question or comment.
Oh, okay. Well, I will just again repeat, Prabhu. I was in another room there. I think the signals were less. Is it okay now, Prabhu?
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah. What I was saying is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that we should not hear the narrations of the Lord or the scriptures from the Mayavadi, because once we start hearing, we are doomed. And in the end of the purport, you read that we will never be able to understand the personal feature of the Lord. So is that the only detrimental effect of hearing from a Mayavadi, or there are other effects also?
Well, here Mahaprabhu said, Mayavadi bhashya sunile hai sarvanash. Bhashya means their commentaries.
Right.
Their commentaries on the pastimes of the Lord, because they'll interpret that this is all made of Maya. Mayavad means made of Maya, means ultimate is Brahm Jyoti, and from there all some vikar happened in Brahm Jyoti, and Krishna appeared, and he's doing his pastime, and this is all Maya. This everything is unreal.
Right.
So when we hear that, not hearing means when we really adopt to that philosophy, then we are doomed.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. When we accept it, right?
Yeah.
So now comes another question. If they themselves are
Again, lost you.
declaring that all this is Maya, it's like fiction, why do they take to the... sorry, bro. Hare Krishna. Is it here? Is it okay now?
You sit at that place wherever you are now.
Yeah. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if that is the case, I'm wondering why
Again, lost you.
why he takes to the process of narrating the Lord's pastimes. Oh, sorry. Is it okay, Prabhu?
Because that is what is attractive to the public. I mean,
Right.
Soham philosophy, how long you can go on with that? For the public to begin with.
Right. So to give them some kind of rasa, they are taking up this narration of scriptures. But why the people are not able to make it? If somebody is coming to me and telling all this is fiction, then I won't be interested in hearing about it for long from him, because he has no conviction. And why would people follow them? And what are the kinds of people who follow the Mayavadis?
You are a devotee, that's why. I mean, just go outside. 99.9% people are Mayavadis. Just like I told you, the other day I had that interfaith meeting,
Right.
and this Jain person was there. He follows
Right.
Jainism. And he said, there is no Lord Ram. Lord Ram, what do you mean Lord Ram? He was a material person and he got liberated. I said, guys, what are you talking about? Ram doesn't need liberation. We need liberation. And for him,
Right.
he was clearly saying, this is in our scriptures. I'm just saying from whatever our scriptures say. He said, I'm not going anywhere else. He said, there is no such thing as Vaikuntha. Everything is Brahm Jyoti, light afterwards. So people like
question.
that philosophy. People just follow that.
Yeah.
It's not philosophy, it's philosophy, like Prabhupada said, but people like to follow that.
True, very true, Prabhu. There are many people who want to believe that they are God, they are the most supreme. But like when we know that who spread this philosophy and under whose direction, when Shankaracharya came under the direction of the Supreme Lord and propagated this bogus philosophy, he had a very good intention of bringing people from Vaidism to
Again, lost you.
empathy, all as they have most of them are inclined towards impersonalism. They are preaching this impersonal philosophy. Can we say, is there any impersonalist philosophers today who are just having the same intention as Shankaracharya, but they are realized God's personal feature?
Same intention as Shankaracharya. Just like, I don't know lately, but Mahaprabhu converted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Prakashanand Saraswati, and 10,000 of disciples of Prakashananda and Saraswati. Mahaprabhu transformed their heart.
Right. So today also, can we assume that some devotees everywhere are transforming Mayavadis into devotees? But those who are transformed into Mayavadis still preach Mayavadi philosophy to the people who want to believe in it. Are there some devotees who are also preaching impersonalist philosophy just because some people wanted it?
I don't know about that, but there was one Prabhupada disciple. Definitely, his name is Atma Tattva Prabhu.
Okay.
He is from South India only.
Okay.
And he openly said, before I met Prabhupada, I was Bhagwan, I was Narayan. And after I met Prabhupada, I was nothing. Prabhupada transformed, converted him. And now he is preaching in South India. Of course, he is preaching Vaishnava philosophy.
Right.
But I don't know if the devotees are preaching Mayavad philosophy.
Inclination towards impersonalism before I heard about the personalist philosophy, but now I am totally convinced. And but we can say that maybe some exalted devotee can really preach impersonal philosophy as a means of bringing those who are deluded into the bhakti. Then they are probably doing the role of Sri Shankaracharya himself. Like the current Shankaracharya and all, what is their consciousness level? Are they really like exactly following Shankaracharya? Like they had God realization.
Their consciousness level, you must have experienced in Jagannath Puri. They stopped us from going on the chariot. This is their consciousness level.
Hey, but then they did that because they thought that we are defiling the Lord's chariot by going on top of it.
So a devotee will never think like that.
Yes.
That is all Mayavad.
Yeah, devotee very personally doesn't think that it is a mark of disrespect.
Yeah,
devotees go and even hug Jagannath ji.
Yeah, this is not disrespect. This is loving service.
Right. Yeah, but
anyway,
then they have so many arguments against it. Like one of the impersonalists recently had a talk. He said, "You people do abhishek with ghee, oil, curd, milk, and so many other things on the Lord, and the Lord is sitting without without any objection, and you put so many things into his mouth. He doesn't probably want to eat, but you people want it, so you are putting it, and you are bathing him in honey and all. Does anybody feel very good being bathed like this? Will you feel good like this?" He was asking.
How can we even compare ourselves with the Lord?
Yeah,
how can I say I don't like it, so that's why Lord might not like it? Who are we to say that? We do exactly what is in the scriptures.
Right. Okay. I know we are doing all those abhishek and rituals on the basis of what's there in the scriptures.
Yeah. How can I say because I won't like it, so Lord won't like it? It's the other way around.
Sometimes we also say that we are a part and parcels of God. So whatever desires are there in God, that is what is there in us also. So I won't like to be bathed in honey. It is very sticky. So can I assume like
it's utter nonsense actually?
This Lord
that is nonsense. We do what is in the scriptures for the Lord. The way it is mentioned, we do the service.
Right. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much for all the answers.
It's so simple.
Prabhuji,
Vinay Prabhu, you were saying something?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have a little question, but
okay,
I think conscious of time, just I'll go quickly. My entire family is a disciple of Jagadguru Shankaracharya Swami Sarupanand Saraswati Maharaj, who quite often comes on TV. Yeah, he comes on the TV also. I mean, it's not from today. I think it's a decade now. We become. He is our guru, family guru, I would say. And like he comes on the TV, and there was, I recall one statement he has made on Sai Baba about, but that was like, it actually took my, like consciousness there. That he said that why people worship in that temple, in Sanatan temple, in the Hindu temple, why they worship, because it's a Manushya avatar. He was a human being, and we only worship the avatars. And one more statement, which is quite controversial, that Lord, I mean, no offense to anyone, please leave me for this. But he said that he was a person who used to give weeds to people and put meat on the mouth of people. But that was through Shankaracharya, who was the Pithadishwar of two Peeth, Banaras and Dwarka. So this question was there for me, whether what is your thought on this, Prabhuji? You might have heard it on the news.
Yeah. See, that way I do agree with Shankaracharya. I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong. Because Sai Baba is just a Baba.
Yes.
He might be some Siddha Purush, Siddha Yogi. Obviously, we cannot worship him on the equal level as Krishna or Ram. That is wrong. But then again, there are so many people who want to follow Sai Baba for whatever reasons.
And Prabhuji, it's a fashion today.
Do?
It's a fashion. In every temple you'll see there is a statue of Sai Baba, along with all other. Even Hanumanji is not worshipped that much, like those, what do you say, like putting flowers and doing all the, designing and all. Those are not happening. I can see, I was very unhappy with this. But if you see the statue of Sai Baba, it has got everything, all amenities there. Proper chadar is there, full mala is there, maybe costly full mala, whereas just a one flower is there on the foot of Bajrang Bali, which makes it really unhappy for some people who like Sanatan Dharma.
So we have to preach. We cannot we cannot go and break the murtis of Sai Baba. That won't be right. See, at the same time, now we have temple of in South India, we have so many movie stars. Their temples are there. No, so what can you do? All we have to do is preach, give the right message out. That's all.
True, Prabhuji. It's annoying, but we have to accept it's Kali Yuga. What to do?
Yeah.
Everything is possible.
Distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, Prabhu. Somebody will read Prabhupada's books, they will come to right knowledge.
Srila Prabhupada's books only giving me all this knowledge. So that, earlier I was not thinking about all this. I couldn't distinguish this. I was just going with the flow. Okay, Sai Baba will just touch the feet. But after coming to this, Krishna consciousness, I'm getting some knowledge here that what is right, what is wrong.
Now we just...
Yeah.
The things are getting clear
now.
As the things are getting clear slowly and gradually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
all.
गोवा में प्रभु जी लता मंगेशकर का भी टेम्पल है. Mangeshkar Mata Temple they call.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So like adding to this, so like what is a view about like worshipping Khatu Shyamji on the same level as Krishna? It is like said, Barbari was blessed by Lord Krishna to be worshipped on his level. So like, what is your views? Are these? It is again kind of a propaganda or something.
So some places we hear the story of Khatu Shyam, but at least he was a devotee. He was related to Bhima. So, but and there's only one temple, one small temple of Khatu Shyamji, and people do worship. People will worship anybody who gives them some material benefit. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Anywhere they go, if one person gets some material desires fulfilled, he will tell thousands and thousands will tell lakhs, and they all think their material desires will get fulfilled over there. That is the reason.
Yeah. Right.
That's the only reason. So idea is, let's preach the right message. That's all.
Right.
And this is what we owe to Srila Prabhupada, actually.
Right.
Prabhuji, I think these are the two thumb only, Vaishnavism and Shankaracharya, those 4 feet, what they've established. The truly who want to make Sanatan Dharma to a greatest heights.
No, in South India, there are so many Sri Sampradayas there, wonderfully preaching. They're doing a wonderful job.
Okay.
And Kumar Sampradaya is there, Gujarat Pushti Margi is there. And there are people who are following Vaishnava tradition. ISKCON is popular because ISKCON is really at the forefront of preaching. Preaching. That's why ISKCON is popular.
And no partiality, of course. That is the biggest thing.
Partiality in what sense?
In casteism system. Anybody.
Yeah.
No
in fact, that is there in all Vaishnava tradition. That you will not find the casteism system in Vaishnava tradition. So anyway, we have to do the right thing. we have to read Prabhupada's books and preach Prabhupada's message. That's all. Hare Krishna.
So I wanted to ask, like, how this 4 sampradaya has come, because I think ISKCON, our sampradaya is Brahma Madhava Gaudiya sampradaya. So as you have mentioned about Sri sampradaya, like that Kumara sampradaya, and I think Shiva sampradaya is also.
Rudra sampradaya, yeah, sure.
Rudra, yes. So, like, how this 4 sampradaya has come, and then on the other sampradayas like Kumara sampradaya, Sri sampradayas, are they giving the same kind of teachings or something else?
See, Brahmadav Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the one we follow. So the teachings given by Brahmaji, then Madhvacharya changed a little bit, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave ultimate teachings. But in like Sri Sampradaya, the main Acharya is Ramanujacharya. So his teachings are pretty much same. Only thing is they worship Lakshmi Narayan. We worship Radha Krishna. So now in Kumar Sampradaya, the main Acharya was Nimbarak Acharya. So they worship Radha Krishna also, but their worship is at the Gopi level.
Okay.
And then the Rudra Sampradaya, the main Acharya is Vishnu Swami, but now after Vishnu Swami, Vallabhacharya became the main Acharya. And they worship Gopal. They don't worship Radharani, they worship Gopal level.
Okay.
So the teachings a little bit here and there, but not a whole lot difference. It's all Vaishnava teachings and all of bona fide Sampradayas.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you all very much. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.